What's up, guys? Welcome back to the video. Today's video, we're gonna be doing what if Italy try to reunite the Roman Empire. But two things. So first things off, this is gonna do with the video. So there's no major alliances, and Italy is buff, so they have an easier time reforming the Roman Empire. But the second thing is, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the channel, makes me happy. Don't know if it makes you happy, but also share the video. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. So yeah. Oh, sorry. Let's get right into the video. So, first things first is they officially declare themselves the Roman Empire once more, and they go ahead and start an alliance. First things first is, well, they go ahead and get Russia in on this alliance. So that's pretty big, but they're going to go ahead and start their empire off with Greece. So they declare war on Greece and some African countries. So yeah, they got 4 countries to deal with. Greece just came to the defense of these guys, so obviously Turkey was not planning on declaring war on them. But obviously the Turkish, not the Turkish, the Romans' navy is a lot superior compared to the Greece's navy. Because obviously Greece is a lot stronger. I mean, a lot weaker than Italy in this timeline, so that's not fun for them. But you go ahead and have Italy making a naval invasion, because obviously this is how the war started. They take out pretty much most of the important parts of these countries, and well, pretty much it does knock out the countries. The only reason why they're not actually completely surrendered is because of Greece. But yeah, so you now have all of this taken out, and most of Algeria's coastal line also taken out, just like Libya's. But Italy does go ahead and make an island hopping campaign. They were able to take this massive island of Greece's, some islands on the Turkish coast. Obviously, those are controlled by Greece. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. But they go ahead and start making some naval invasions off the coast of Greece, which is gonna knock out Greece pretty fast. But meanwhile, while this war was going on, Italy goes and sends over an ultimatum over to Albania. Albania accepts it, and they were forced to join They were forced to join Turkey, not Turkey. Oh my gosh, the Italians. But with Greece falling pretty fast, you have the capital of Greece falling, and the rest of Greece also surrendering, which leaves the rest of the African countries also to follow suit. And I will drop the peace treaty quickly, and I will see you guys in a second. So, yeah. Looks like is the Romans, they go ahead and take the coastal line from it, and they puppet the rest of the country. They fully annex Greece, and they have 2 next targets, and these are some big targets. These are the strongest. These are some of the strongest countries. Well, these are the strongest countries that they're going to be fighting. So they go ahead and declare war on Portugal, Spain, and Turkey. So once again, they're fighting a 2-front war, but the Romans are getting a little cocky. But they are going to realize that what their mistake was, is because honestly, over here in Greece, Turkey is very easily able to push back the Romans. Turkey was very easily able to push back the Romans, almost fully out of Greece. But honestly, they're not so worried about Greece right now. They're mostly worried about Spain and Portugal. And the Roman king, he does now realize his mistake of declaring war on Turkey, because obviously Turkey was really ready for this war. But Spain and Portugal was not ready for this war. But the Roman Empire, they do have some success capturing the islands off the coast of Spain. They make some massive naval invasions. And, well, yeah, so they have 3 massive naval invasions, which are all not, which technically 2 met up, but they were separate naval invasions. And they weren't told to meet up with each other. They were told to just push out. But the Spanish army, as I was saying, was not fully ready for this invasion, and, well, the capital falls pretty fast into Roman control, and with the capital now under Roman control, they're pretty much just completely surrendering over to the Romans. But back over here, back in the Turkish front line, you have Turkey. They do get pushed back a little bit, but the Turks, they were somehow able to make a landing in Rome. Yeah, so this was massive. This is honestly, Turkey thought they just saved Spain and everyone else, like Spain and Portugal, and they were gonna save these countries down here and everyone else from the Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire was getting, like, absolutely demolished by Turkey. They got cut into 2. But the Romans, they pulled out pretty much all the army, like pretty much the whole army from Spain and Portugal, attacking Spain and Portugal, and they're retreating. They're going back to Rome, and they're going back to their country to protect it, because they're surprised that Turkey hasn't navally invaded their colony yet, which is honestly crazy. So right now, honestly, they're a little messed up, and the whole northern island, the whole northern Italy was surrendered before the Roman army got back. But once they got here, they were able to take back Rome, and, well, they made a new boat while this was going down on Sicily, and this boat was massive. This was the strongest boat ever. They were able to take back this island. I don't remember the name, so if someone can comment it, thank you. They were also able to push back in Greece, and even make a naval invasion with this boat. This boat did it all. But right now, Turkey is now pretty much completely, wow. How were we able to collapse the Roman Empire this easily? Well, you're not going to be able to for long, because, well, the rest of the Roman army got here, and, oh, whoa, why am I all the way up in the Nordics? But they just completely were able to take the whole of the coastal, the Romans were able to take back all of their coastline, and you know all these troops up here? They're now encircled and slowly going to be demolished. Which, the Romans, they were not taking any survivors of these troops because of what they did. They made a naval invasion. But eventually, the Turks were pushed out of Greece, and, well, another naval invasion happened. But Constantinople is probably going to be one of the bloodiest battles of Rome trying to reunite, because with the Romans now on the front, completely encircling the Constantinople, this is the bloodiest battle. And the Turks, they were able to hold that out, but mass casualties on each side. And each day that goes by, well, pretty much the Italians, if they think there's a single soldier in a building in Constantinople, they blow it up. And honestly, there's so many casualties, so like civilian casualties, just casualties in normal, which honestly is massive for Italy, because this is a really big morale loss for oh my gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue, for Turkey. But they go ahead and start their another counteroffensive into Spain. It just wasn't as big and as fast, because obviously a lot more troops are dealing with Turkey right now instead of Spain and Portugal. But right now, now Spain does look like that, but they still have their capital back, and right now it's looking pretty good for them. They're not. Oh wait, no, Istanbul. It was just captured. Okay, well that's not fun, because Istanbul just got captured, and the Turkey is like days away from like completely surrendering. The only reason why, because their capital is now in destroyed Constantinople, while the pretty much the rest of Turkey surrenders, Constantinople is still fighting. So yeah, a massive encirclement is now going for the Romans. They take, so now that the Romans don't have to completely like overtake Turkey, they can go ahead and start to make an encirclement over down here in Spain. And honestly, it goes crazy. Like Spain, they just lost their capital again from the encirclement, and then a mass amount of their army, well, what was left of their army, just got destroyed. And now the Portuguese is pretty much like Spain is now relying on Portugal to defend their country, which they honestly pretty much don't defend so well. The Romans, they were able to take out a decent amount, and honestly, the Romans are scared that Turkey's gonna live on in Constantinople. So, but they are eventually, Portugal and the rest of Spain surrenders, because, well, obviously they didn't want to fight anymore. But Constantinople is such a brutal battle for each side. But eventually the Turks, they did start to push back the Romans, and this is where the fear started to get put in place, where Turkey will live in the city of Constantinople. And, well, this is not good, because, well, Turkey was just able to make a naval invasion, but eventually they, well, a little bomb got dropped right here, right, like, just like dropped on major parts of like where there's a whole bunch of army places, and well, that leads them to completely just, they're like, yeah, we're done, we surrender. So I will drop the piece really quickly, and I will see you guys in a second. So all of Portugal and Spain, which is something, but the rest, all of Turkey is not fully annexed, just a decent amount. But I don't want to deal with the mess of the Middle East right now, so I'm going to just say that the Romans, they just completely took what they needed. Which they even launched a little campaign into Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia completely lost that war. But we're gonna say that none of this, yeah. So obviously, with the Romans now in the Middle East, they're really unstable. We're gonna say that they're as stable as possible. Like, they aren't about collapsing to 10 bajillion pieces and being 10 wars in Europe, and they only have like 2 countries in Europe, 3 countries in Europe, technically 4. But yeah, so now with well, the rest of the countries. So actually, Saudi Arabia lost a decent amount of land to the Romans. They even got like a chunk bitten out of them, and it was just like a straight up puppet. So all of these guys were turned into a puppet and forced to join the Turkish puppet. And see, well, the Romans, they're going for a little bit more than what they actually had. They're going for a bigger empire, bigger, stronger empire. But they know that some countries they might not be able to do, like, invade. Because, like, the British and the French, that's gonna be really hard. Also, nuclear bombs do not exist in this timeline. We're gonna say that World War II still did, ending the Allied victory. Nuclear bombs just don't exist. Well, no, we're going to say that all nuclear bombs were exposed of. Not in a war, the world just came to a decision to get rid of all nukes, which probably would be the best decision in real life. But, the Romans, they are doing pretty good right now. They are looking nice and strong. They have a couple countries in Europe, a decent amount. But, honestly, they're not done with Europe, not even close. But they want to take a... Well, first off, I hate this border with Iraq and their puppet. So, they launch a special operation into Iraq, and well, Iraq is technically able to fend off the Romans for a little while. But eventually, it looks like this, and eventually the Romans just decided to send their full, they decided to officially declare war on them, and send a mass amount of troops there, and they were able to take the capital of Iraq, and well, yeah, they eventually completely got destroyed, and well, it turns out like this. So they go ahead and surrender, looking like this, and they actually got away with probably the easiest peace treaty of any country, surprisingly enough, even though they fought really hard. Not as hard as the Turkish though, but any Turkish people in here are they have to pay mass amount of taxes. They are not treated nicely because of what they did. They were able to naval invade the Romans, so yeah, honestly, just get better Romans. But yeah, so Saudi Arabia goes ahead and they want to start their own alliance, but they don't know who will join it. And they don't want to make it because what if Egypt joins and then they're gonna get their butt kicked again because they declare war on Egypt, which obviously you can kind of tell that they're preparing to, because yeah. But Iraq, they didn't get fully puppeted. Yay for Iraq. But yeah, they go ahead and declare war on the last countries that they want in Africa. Well, no, not just the last countries that they want. They declare war on pretty much all the countries that they want to be their puppet. Or completely annexed, or just not completely annexed, just lose land. So, yeah, the Romans, they are not doing so well. I just realized that this is probably Roman islands, because I'm pretty sure that's Spanish islands. Or Portuguese islands, I don't remember. But yeah, so you have a mass amount of troops entering from all sides. Morocco, Western Sahara, and most of these countries were the first ones to surrender. But Chad, obviously, Chad didn't even get invaded. because they're just like the Chad. But Chad's probably gonna be able to live on, maybe lose their land to like up here. Like they probably, well, they do end up joining this war on the side of the Romans, which does lead to the fall of Chad pretty much. But sadly, Chad was invaded. There's nothing I could have done, guys. I'm sorry. We will remember Chad. And don't worry, guys. A Giga Chad Empire will be coming soon. A Giga Chad video will be coming soon. Because obviously Giga Chad, but like, yeah. You have a spearhead left from Chad. This is like the main Chad army. But don't think that South Sudan likes the what is it? Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, I am spacing so hard right now. But with Chad pretty much surrendered, you have their main focus now. Well, they sent over an ultimatum to Cyprus. Cyprus goes ahead and surrenders. Probably the smartest decision that they could have made. Because if they didn't make that decision, they'd probably be, like, brutally invaded. But the obviously they do not want to, the Egyptians, they do not want to lose the Panama Canal, which is honestly pretty much what they're left with at this point. They are pretty much left with the rest of the Panama Canal. That's almost like pretty much their main important land that they are left with. Because if you look at this, they are almost just pushed up to the Panama Canal. And while troops do move across the border of the water, these troops are pretty much now stuck. Either stuck invaded, or they are now, like, officially gone. But because the troops now encircled by the Romans at the Panama Canal, that they're pretty much encircled, because they're not going to be able to make a full entire, like, loop around the Africa before they are able to get to before they're able to move over to here. But eventually the Panama Canal is split into two, and it surrenders, and Egypt follows soon, and then Sudan, and then Chad. So, now with all of these guys surrendering, I have to drop a peace treaty for this. I will see you guys in a second once I'm done with this peace treaty. So, yeah. I will see you guys in a second. They did gain a new ally, Ethiopia, because they promised Ethiopia some coastline. But this country was made into a puppet of its own. But now you have a massive Roman puppet in the central of Africa, in like northern Africa. You have the Romans taking pretty much most of the control of most of the Red Sea. And, well, now you pretty much just have the Romans having to deal with the massive, massive alliance that just formed from all of the, like, people. Like, from all the people that don't want to be invaded by the Romans. Because during this war, this alliance was happening. Well, actually, no, not all of these guys join. But it's pretty much like NATO. It's pretty much all the countries that know that they might be invaded by the Romans. But at this point, the Romans are pretty much unstoppable. They are quite strong. They are honestly maybe impossible to invade. But they will take what they can get, and, well, I'll spare you guys the gore. They go ahead and fully annex these guys. But you see, the Roman king looks at their borders, and they're like, ugh, is that what my borders look like? Like, what is it, sir? You want us to take more land from our puppets? They're like, no, we gotta declare war on the Green. We gotta declare war on new NATO alliance. They're like, but that has to be sudden death, sir. They're like, meh, because like the Roman king looks over here at Serbia and looks like right here at this passageway. And they know that the green team is actually getting ready to declare war on them, like, really soon. So, well, they just did it. Oh, no. So, obviously, they were both kind of preparing for this. And right now, their plan is just to pretty much save the countries that have been annexed so far. And, like, pretty much free them all up. But, like, not all of them. Like, let some of them just continue to be ruled. So, like, probably some of the countries that would continue to be ruled was a piece of Albania, some of Greece. Oh wait, I completely forgot to erase a border between Turkey and Greece. Oh my gosh. Okay, but they surprisingly enough, the Romans, they did lose Serbia, and this is probably going to be one of the main times where they're also invaded. But just this, they're going to have a harder time to like control, like keep the rest of this. The French, they do kind of leak in from like the little sides where there is no mountains, because like honestly, there's like a wall between France and Spain. So, but they do an island hopping campaign. But obviously, this is the Romans video. This isn't like the French video or like the blue team video. So, yeah. But obviously, the Romans aren't just going to be able to do this by themselves. But yeah, so you have a massive amount of blue team troops now in your country and in core territory. They're not really focusing on Africa, which honestly is a major mistake, because this is where their army was coming back from. And if they were to be able to like take down this area, that'd be massive. And actually, the Romans, they have pretty much all naval superiority over here, and actually mostly over in this circle also. The only places that they're struggling with is up here in this circle, which does kind of leak into the other one, and same with down here. So those are the areas that they're kind of struggling with naval superiority. But we just don't talk about up here in the Black Sea, because yeah. But with the Romans do start, they used that ship that they made 3 more of those ships that they used on Greece. They launched a naval invasion. Well, obviously you have Russia joining the war to gain their claims in Ukraine. So this honestly goes a lot better than honestly you probably would think it would probably go. But no, it actually goes pretty good. They do get the mass amount of troops do get kicked out, but eventually the Ukrainians were able to stalemate them. But as I was saying, the Romans, they made some naval invasions. One in Bulgaria, one in Romania, and one in Ukraine. So yeah, this is honestly not this is not the biggest thing that has ever happened, but honestly it's something which is better than nothing. They do start a offensive into Bulgaria, and they were able to capture the capital of Bulgaria and able to push them out a little bit out of Serbia, like just a little bit out of Serbia, and surrender North Macedonia. And well, the rest looks like this. So yeah, the Romans, they were able to also start a counteroffensive, but it's slow because it's mountainous up here, so Obviously, it's going to start off a little slow. But they go ahead and use their ship, and they were able to take back Corsica. It starts with a C, I'm pretty sure. But they also go ahead and make a naval invasion on Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Croatia. And they were able to meet up with Albania, this naval invasion. So honestly, this is like a massive naval invasion. And if you were to say that, well, the Romans are weak, you'd be mistaken, because they now have complete naval superiority in the Mediterranean, and they're getting, and the Russians and the Romans almost have complete, actually no, they have complete superiority over the Mediterranean. They've now met up, the Romans have now met up with the Russians, which means better trade routes, and honestly, it's just now starting, the tides of the war are now starting to change, but still, France is now, main territory in France has been pushed back, but down here in Spain, France is doing really good. They were able to take back the capital of Spain. They called it Liberating Spain. And, well, it looks pretty good for the French out here. But a naval invasion happens they try to do a naval invasion, and this is their first naval invasion that didn't work. It was supposed to take out right here, which did not go successfully, sadly, for the Romans. But honestly, these guys are like terrified because the Romans, they haven't surrendered yet. And well, honestly, you're probably thinking, why would the blue team be terrified? Well, because you have all of these countries with two countries and Ethiopia. Ethiopia is just down there, bruh. They've sent about 2 soldiers up, and those 2 soldiers are stationed in Rome. So, yeah, that's something. But they do now start another counteroffensive, and it was supposed to take back everything below this line. It was supposed to they were supposed to take all of that stuff under that white line, but they didn't go so successful. They were almost able to completely surrender Bulgaria, almost, but they still hang on for dear life. But Serbia, they're now technically a country again. But the Romans know that if they lose all of Spain and all of Portugal, then that's going to be a game changer. And then they're going to start focusing on Africa, and then they're going to have to deal with Africa. So, the Romans, they stop all offensives, and, well, yeah, so the Romans, they stop all offensives, and they go ahead and sit on this border for about 2 months, building up a massive army. They have an army of, like, 10 million right now. And they're literally just sitting on their borders, except for down here. They do start a counteroffensive against the French, which does go a little successful. They were almost able to take back the capital of Spain, but not fully so. It turns out like this, and now with a spearhead starting, but yeah, so that's what it's left like, and winter hits. It goes silent for the winter. The winter truce goes on, and then as soon as it hits July 1st, the Romans start their plan. They quickly pushed them out of core Italian territory, pushed into core French territory, like more than just the island, pushed into almost completely surrendered Switzerland, and pushed into Austria. But yeah, so now with the Romans looking like this, it's now starting to look like the tides of war are changing on the Romans' favor. But honestly, it's not looking so good if you look down in like Spain and Portugal. Okay, so now the Italians, they go ahead and they start their offensive into, well, the French, they completely pull out of Spain. They're like, nope, we can't hold on to this. And this was one of the largest mistakes that the French makes. And they pretty much completely push out. Now they lost their southern coastline, and some countries start to surrender. Even some countries that weren't even like fully pushed into, they go ahead and surrender because they see that this war is about to be lost and they can't face any more casualties. Like most of the Baltics, but not the Baltics, the Balkans and Ukraine, they do face mass casualties. But now you have a little bit of push up for Paris, and the Romans were able to capture Paris, which was honestly a game changer. And this is what ended the war pretty much. So some countries just decided to surrender instead of continuing to fight. But the 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 British is going to be the hardest people to beat. So they pretty much go ahead and they try to launch 10 naval invasions. Out of that 10, one makes it. All 10 of those had 30,000 troops. Well, not 30,000, like 15,000. No, like 200,000 people. And all 9 of them failed, which was honestly not good for the Romans. So, but with 200,000 troops, they go ahead and start supplying Wales, the Wales invasion, which is the only one that was successful. And they go ahead and start pushing down to London. And that's exactly what happens. They take London, and the British surrender. Well, pretty much. Almost the British surrender, but a spearhead just like goes shooting up and takes the Scotland's capital, and well, the rest of it goes ahead and surrenders over to the Romans, and well, the war was over. There's nothing they could do. But obviously, the Romans, they probably won't be able to take most of what they had in Germany. But I'm just going to quickly drop the peace treaty, and I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, guys, so this is what ended up being, like, the peace treaty. But pretty much, so Ukraine got split up into two. So first off, the Russians took the land that they wanted from Ukraine, and the Romans, they took like a little bit of coastline from Ukraine, pretty much what they naval invaded, and they puppeted they took a massive chunk and made it into they combined it into a massive puppet down here. They pretty much gave Germany the Netherlands and most of Czechoslovakia, not Czechia and Slovakia, Czechia, and well, they puppeted the rest of the United Kingdom. Hold up one second, let me just fix this border. They puppeted the rest of the United Kingdom, as you can see, and well, they completely annexed France. And well, you're probably wondering, well, what's happening to French Guiana? Yeah, they go ahead and completely annex that too, which is honestly something, because well, Their sphere of influence looks something like this. Like just the Roman sphere of influence looks something like this. So they've pretty much conquered Europe at this point. And then it does span mostly from... So yeah, they have like big parts of like the... Like this is their sphere of influence, which is honestly massive. Because if you look, you have the Romans all the way starting up in the top of Europe and all the way down in the middle of Africa. So this is honestly probably the largest this is like honestly the biggest Roman Empire that you probably might see on the YouTube. But I could see later on, maybe I might make another video on this. If this does good, guys, I might make another video. And where the Romans, they go ahead and completely get demolished. Or maybe they just expand some more, or maybe they get bigger. But I could see them expanding into Saudi Arabia later on. Probably Germany would be able to start an alliance with like the rest of Europe, and then that like changed their sphere of influence to looking like something like in Europe it'd look something like this if they did do that. It probably just changed their sphere of influence for Europe looking like this. So yeah, their sphere of influence, if Germany started an alliance with Poland, they got the rest of Europe in on it, except for Belarus. Belarus probably joins the Pink Alliance. But yeah, so this is going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Bye!